Beasley's Caves in Oregon was first uncovered in 1938 by University of Oregon anthropologist Luther Cressman. Cressman found bones of camels, horses, bisons, and waterfowl. He determined that there was evidence of human activity on the bones through the killing and butchering of the animals. Cressman believed this was an old site, but radiocarbon dating was not yet available to him in 1949. Cressman thought that the artifacts found here were from an older civilization. An older time period were never accepted, as it would have gone against the Clovis first theory. The site was left alone until 2002, when it was looked at again. Radiocarbon dating was applied to the artifacts that were uncovered in 1938, and dates came back to between 13,500 and 16,500 years before present. These findings validated what Cressman thought. Cressman was never personally validated, as he had passed away before the testing results came to light. These results were also attacked. The attacks were based on water bringing artifacts to a deeper layer, making them seem older, and water bringing urine from another area to an area of human activity, saying that humans weren't active when the urine was there, as it was brought from a different area by the water. To quiet questions and criticisms of the site, University of Oregon archaeologist Dennis Jenkins implemented a more stringent protocol. He brought in 121 mass spectrometers to analyze the site. Additional radiocarbon dating was performed on plants, microfossils, coprolites, bones, and collagen. Around 190 samples were tested. The dates from these artifacts came back to between 13,500 and 16,500 years before present, this confirming the earlier radiocarbon dates. The animal bones that confirm the oldest dates did not have human manipulation and possibly no human activity at the later dates. The next big moment in these caves happened in 2017, with the discovery of coprolites within inches of stone points that are associated with Russian stem tradition. This is more evidence that it was not the Clovis culture in this area. The biggest difference between the Clovis spear points and the Russian stem tradition spear points are the Russian stems are smaller and have a notch at the base to attach to a pole. The coprolites survived as the caves provide an extremely dry environment. Human DNA was extracted from the coprolites, proving a human presence in the caves. Radiocarbon dating of the coprolites came back to 14,400 years before presence, verifying that this was a pre-Clovis culture. The caves also gave an insight into the diet of this culture. They were eating roots, bison, horse, and mastodon. Also found at the site were baskets, rope, plant fibers, wood artifacts, and animal bones. Based on everything that was uncovered, it is believed that this site was a transition point. This was not a permanent settlement. These finds provide evidence to the theory that a seafaring culture was in the Americas. Very much like the idea of the Clovis people following large animals from Siberia to Alaska, it is believed that sea creatures were followed from Japan and the surrounding areas to the west coast of the Americas. These people would hunt the animals, stop on the coast, and then move inland. This is a theory that I will explore in later videos. Cooper's Ferry is located in western Idaho along the Salmon River, which pulls its water from the Columbia River Basin. This site was first excavated in the 1960s by Robert Butler. In 1997, Dr. Lauren Davis excavated a test pit and uncovered Western stem projectile points. This was the proof needed to excavate further at this site, as those projectile points proved an ancient human occupation of the area. So radiocarbon dating was done, and the dates came back between 11,370 and 11,410 years before present. The dating was attacked as it stood outside the accepted theories. There was no non-ice path from the land bridge to this area of the Pacific Northwest. This site was left alone until 2009, when a large excavation could be set up. During this excavation, around 190 artifacts were uncovered. This included stone tools, weapons, and bone fragments from extinct horses. The excavation dug deeper, and this is where the more exciting and controversial finds were uncovered. A hearth was found. This fire pit produced charcoal, which is great for determining the age of the site, and also is undisputable proof that ancient humans were at the site. The dating on the charcoal came back to 16,500 to 16,300 years before present. The second big connection made from this site are the artifacts are possibly linked to a culture in northern Japan, as the tools are very similar. This adds to the theory of a sea crossing over the land crossing for the settlement. Neither of these conclusions are accepted. The link to northern Japan is not supported by genetic comparison or dental evidence. The evidence that it was presented is called superficial and unconvincing. Also, many believe that the dates are closer to 15,000 years before present instead of the 16,000 presented in the papers. And this is the importance of finding the coal. Coal is a great source of actual date and will overcome the criticisms for the dating. The connection to northern Japan will be looked at more, and more evidence will be needed to link the two together. But it is another piece of evidence building on that a seafaring people came to the Americas. In the next videos, I will continue to build the evidence of an ancient people in America through other archaeological dig sites.